Katinka Rydin Berge, welcome to the Theatre Café Webinar Series.
Thank you.
You're a theatre director. You run your own company called Kompani Camping. And you've also one of the kind of driving forces behind a new project trying to build a new stage, a new house, a new venue in Oslo for documentary and research-based theatre and film.
Yep, that's right.
And the Kompani Camping is also focusing on the research-based theatre. Now, before we kind of start, or at the beginning, can we just define some of the words that people might come across, just to be very clear about what we're talking about? Because I've heard terms like research-based theatre, news-based theatre, fact-based theatre, documentary theatre. Is there any difference between all of these words? What do they mean? How can we differentiate, or do they all mean the same?
Yeah, I think you can differentiate between them according to who's writing, because it's the writer who decides how you use the research. And it's according to the project that they are working on. Some of the dramatists that we work with, they work strictly on verbatim, strictly on doing interviews, adapting them into a script. Other dramatists use it more freely. They might combine different types of research, doing interviews, archive material, news articles, and then they also maybe write some things from their own hands or from their own imagination even, and adapt that into the script. So all these terms, I think, refers to different types of method to creating good text. And I think the theme that goes through a lot of those dramatists and how they're thinking about the work is that they want to be sort of doing something which is right now, like doing something which is either socially aware or political or socially interesting in some way, and they're investigating something which is happening right now. And I think that might be one of the words that goes through all those types of research-based theatre.
You're working on a project at the moment which is a form of research-based theatre, and your target group for this performance is 5 to 8-year-olds.
Yeah.
Can you tell us about that project?
Yeah, it's our first project for children, for a younger audience, and we would like to take that research type of theatre one step ahead, and we're actually going to use interviews in the actual performance. So before we have this specific space that the children go into, and before they go into this space, they will meet the actors and they will do little interviews with the parents or the teachers or the people, the grown-ups from the kindergarten, and then we're going to adapt some of these things on the spot and take it into the story that we are going to do inside this the theatre space. So that's one thing, and the theme for this play is time. And it's one of the most fantastic things to do for children, because it's one of the things that they are they're struggling with. It's a grown-up idea. Time is how we structure our lives, but it's nothing that we are born with. It's not like we know what time is when we're 3 years old. But that's why we ask, "Oh, Mama, when are we going to go to that sweet shop? When am I going to have my Saturday sweets? When I'm going to? And have I been to kindergarten now? When did we go swimming last time? Have I been to? Have I had dinner yet today?" So they're struggling with this idea, and it's so many fantastic things that comes out of their conversations about time. And one of the interviews we did in the kindergarten here in Oslo was. This is also a thing working with research-based theatre for children, is that we kind of tap into their totally free flow of imagination. They start talking about one thing, and then in the next second they talk about peeing, on the walls, and how that builds up to sort of a whole session of peeing, and it all started with talking about time. And I think this is a really good challenge and a really good thing about working with documentary theatre or research-based theatre with children, is that they you kind of can grasp this fantastic imagination that you can't even think about if you sit a grown-up writing for children.
You have a writer attached to this project. There's a playwright.
Yeah, there's
attached.
a playwright.
How is that going to work? How have you talked about or figured out how this writing process is going to happen? When as you say, you're also going to be using improvisation. The actors will have to take material from the kids. They'll have to incorporate it into the text. That sounds complicated.
Yeah. Well, the thing what we do when we work with different dramatists is that we kind of let them go. We talk a lot, and we talk about our ideas and our common ideas, and sort of create a common ground. And then they go off and they do interviews on their own. Maybe they send out me or the actors to do some things and all feedback to their process. And then they work with it totally freely. It's really important in order for the text to be so good is that they are alone with it for some time. But then adapting all these strategies into the text is something that we do via dialogue, and it's also something that we do in workshops. So this is a type of project that you can't just write and then start rehearse it. You have to develop it through working with the actors. They have to test out all of these things as well. How does it work? How many things? Is it just the names maybe we can use? Is it maybe just some details in the story that we will change? So basically the main body of the text will be in a theatre space, which is going to be like totally 360 degrees. The children are going to play around. They're not going to be like sit in seats. So that the story in there going to be a body of text which is going to be structured, and then we're going to have gaps for the improvisation, or gaps where we can put in little new things. So there has to be a structure in that chaos. Yeah.
How far have you come with this process so far?
We are in a research process now, so it's very early. I've done a little bit of research already, and then the dramatist is doing interviews and doing research right now. And the name is No Man's House. No Man's House, and it's that the title of the project is sort of refers back to one of the most fantastic novels for children about time, which is written by Michael Ende, called Momo in Norwegian. So this title with this house, we've just sort of been inspired by, and then we're going to create like a whole new text about time with the children. Yeah.